Away from Texas.
Yes, sir. Watch you every single day. Nobody lays it down like Uncle Neely and the pregame show.
Neely, pregame show behind the scenes from everything. And why does he get that kind of access? Why does he get that kind of access? Because trust is involved. You would never get the kind of access you desire unless there's trust and relationship. You're trying to put your up on game.
Hey, welcome back to the Pregame Show Network. It's me, Uncle Neely, and I'm here with Reggie Calhoun Jr. Reggie Jr.
Yeah.
Reggie
Calhoun
Jr.
Yes, sir.
If you're gonna look him up on social media, he's Director of Operations for our alliance here, our collective that deals with NIL, and we're just gonna chop it up about that, see what's been going on, what's going to be going on, and how y'all can play a part in it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey man, it's always welcome.
Man, it's good to be back.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. So you in and settled now.
Oh yeah, I'm getting there, man. I'm getting my feet wet. You know, been hosting some different events. Of course, meeting some people in the community, trying to get more, knowledgeable about who's who and who's not to talk to.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I've been, for the last 45 days. Yeah. It's been a roll.
It has, man. It's been going by fast.
Bruh, like it's feel like I just landed and just started running.
Yeah. So what's some of the opportunities or goals you got set early on before the season starts?
Yeah, man. So we definitely want to start doing more campaigns, right? So working with businesses locally, regionally, nationally, pairing them with our athletes, helping them grow their brand and get more leads and stuff like that. But using our athletes NIL in a way that is beneficial to both the businesses and our boys too.
I think that's one of the unique opportunities that you have heading this up. A lot of colleges around the nation have to just deal locally, but this is literally a national brand. So you got regional, national, and your local businesses that can work with you.
Yeah, so when I came here, man, the reason why I did say yes to the opportunity is because of the national reach, right? I'm not one that's want to be, boxed in.
Yeah.
And then plus this roster has athletes from all over the U.S.
Yeah.
So why not tap into that national reach?
Yeah. What have you found are some of the misunderstandings about NIL or collectors or how this all works? Everybody in the barbershop think they know how it's done.
Right.
But they really don't know how it's done.
Right. So the biggest misconception is we're just paying athletes to play, right? As a collective, at its foundation from when it began, it was booster-led, donor-led, alumni-led. And that's when it became like, oh, this is just alum who want to support the athletes. Okay. But in transitioning and then going with the new wave of the NCAA, we're looking at the NIL collective as a organization that's actually working hand in hand with the athletes. So we actually signed the athletes to our collective. We utilized their NIL and then we paired them with different opportunities and events to then utilize their name, image, and likeness, right? But some organizations are looking at it from the standpoint of people just giving money, right? It's not about just giving money, right? You actually want them to do some bona fide activities where you can see them utilize their NIL.
Yeah.
But because we're all in the collective space, one size does fit all when it comes to the actual verbiage. But if you're watching what NIL collectives are becoming, they're becoming that management and that agency.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity for the athletes here because it's kind of like a one-stop shop with y'all.
Yeah.
Like I sign with y'all and y'all take care of the details. Like I can focus on football in school instead of cherry picking these things. Y'all match up the businesses with the athletes and what those businesses are trying to accomplish.
Right. Because most businesses, especially when you're talking about a Colorado, they don't know the entry point.
Yeah.
Right. Or they don't know how to navigate to actually get in touch with an athlete. Right. So we can be that door and not that gate.
Yeah.
Right. So we really.
Hold on. I don't want y'all to miss that. See, a door keeps somebody out. A gate opens and lets you in. You can see through a gate. You can see what's on the other side. Yeah. So you want people to see.
Yeah.
You want them to know, and you want them to come in. You want this to happen.
We want to welcome y'all in, right? Because it's more of we have a lot of athletes who are interested in a lot of different things, right? So we have guys who came in, who transferred in, who are interested in technology.
Yeah.
And they want to do things in coding and cybersecurity. Well, you don't know that from watching them play on Saturdays.
Absolutely.
Right? So me getting that information, knowing what they want to do, knowing what they're interested in, I can then go out and source these opportunities, whether for the group or for the individual athlete.
So y'all do like an assessment when y'all sign a player to find out what his interests are. Okay.
So I came in and that's one thing that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Let's learn more about the athlete. right? Because they're still 18, 19, 20 year olds, right? So they always say, oh, give me money. Okay, cool. But I also want them to know like the value of their NIL.
Yeah.
Saying somebody's giving you money, this is just a base.
Yeah.
Let's start looking at ways where you can leverage that to get more and get into different opportunities. You can leverage that to get an internship. And we already know that athletes don't usually get the internships because we're playing.
We're busy,
right?
yeah.
But if we can pair that with an NIL and say, okay, well, let's get this kid this opportunity here, it's a way to utilize your NIL and get you something that you came to school for.
I love that, Reg, because there's nothing like partnering with or endorsing a brand that you actually vibe with, or you actually use the product, or you know them and that kind of thing. That way, it's not just a sales pitch.
Right.
And then it opens up opportunities for partnership, ownership, affiliation.
Equity,
Yeah.
this is the big thing, man. So for instance, so we're doing the Juneteenth event, right? The Juneteenth is a holiday, it is a memorial, it is all those things, right? But this opportunity for them is to go down to Denver. There's over 200 vendors. My task for them is to go and meet 5 businesses in Denver. That's your job.
Yeah.
Go out there and meet 5. And not just for a task, but for you to go and network with people and learn
Sure.
who's doing what, right? And then how can you leverage your NIL to actually work with these businesses? Because they're vending to get exposure.
Sure.
Right? So now you can pair with them and do something unique.
Yeah.
Right? So just putting them in different areas where they
strong.
can really learn, hey, I'm valuable to somebody, even if it's not a big multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Absolutely.
You can go and help this corporation here who's pulling in $10, $15 million a year, and you can help them go to 20,
Yeah.
25.
Look, man, I would love to be on the shelf of Walmart, but you still can't forget about Main Street and mom and pops, because that's the backbone of America's small business. Most people are employed by businesses with less than 30 employees.
Right.
And so you may see these big boxes and these big corporations, but it's these small businesses that could really drive your NIL.
And that's another avenue to do community impact. So if most of these kids come from small towns,
Yeah.
right? Those small towns know who you are. Why not go there, help that community, help your people move?
So let me ask you about that though, because that's something I'm interested in. So many times people look at where you are, right? Be where you are, be where your feet are.
Yeah.
We're here in Colorado, in Boulder, Metro Denver, but you may have a guy from Memphis, Tennessee, and you can't forget about your NIL opportunities back home. You may be
Right.
playing ball here. We got 5 games going to be on national TV. This program is talked about worldwide. You can still leverage being here with where you're from.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's where your mind should be, right? If you think about when an athlete or a student in general graduates college, what's the first thing they usually do?
Go back home.
Go back home.
Yeah.
So why not start building back home, right? I look at it as the military, right? So if you come and you get deployed and you go overseas, you're not fighting for where you're getting deployed to. You're fighting for where you just
I like that
came
analogy,
from,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if I'm out and I'm in Boulder or wherever and I'm building here,
Yeah.
I'm building here for where I just came from,
Yeah.
so that I can inspire the next people and impact that community. Versus leaving here, going back home, immersing myself there, and trying to get out the rat race the same way everybody else did. Right?
Yeah.
Remember, I said you leave for a reason.
Yeah.
So when you come back, you should have resources.
Yeah.
But most people don't come back with resources. They come back to start all over again.
Yeah, they leave their resources where they were.
Right.
Instead
And
of bringing it
they
with
don't
them.
bring it back. Right.
Yeah, you see that even in professional sports. A guy plays for Detroit Lions, and he's from Little Rock. His millions stay in Michigan, and by the time he comes back home,
He's starting over.
yeah,
As if he never left.
Yeah.
And then you become a used to be and a regular, and then you're upset because nobody acknowledges your greatness, but you didn't do anything while you was gone. So why not start building your bridge here back home, so that when you go back home, you have something to look forward to. Check on your property, check on the local store you helped build, right? So all those things matter.
So I know you were laying this, and this is a statement, but it's really a question because it's an assumption. I know you're laying this foundation right now, but it would seem to me that as the season gets going, the athlete's time gets even less because it's short weeks and that kind of. And your responsibility is going to go up even more because now the eyes are on the program, they're on TV, they're being seen weekly. How do you transition from the foundation you're laying now to really managing this thing when the sports season is in and you're trying to connect them. Hey, this is the guy you just saw
Yeah.
score 3 touchdowns Saturday, you know?
Yeah, so operationally, you got to think what happened. So, for example, when Amarion Miller had that breakout game against USC, knowing where he's from, knowing what he's interested in, that game should have leveraged him into something else.
Absolutely.
Because he did it,
Yeah.
right? When the girls beat LSU,
Yeah.
instantly we should have been,
Yeah.
right? But those are things that I'm planning ahead. Like, okay, if someone has a breakout game here, what are we doing next, right?
Yeah.
The next day needs to be a campaign running that. If we have a big rivalry week, how are we leading up to that? Who we highlighting,
Yeah.
right? And then which games do we want to highlight a position,
Yeah.
right? Because, you know, for instance, like when we go play Nebraska, right, the biggest talk is going to be about the linemen.
Mm-hmm.
So I already have a campaign built up for the linemen
Ready for that.
for Nebraska,
Yeah.
right? So that's kind of where my mind is always at. I'm looking at game 4 now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because I'm planning like somebody's going to have a breakout game.
Sure.
Somebody's going to do something special, right? Our stars they are the guys.
Yeah.
But that supporting staff, you have to know who those guys are too.
Yeah, because like even we brought in, talking about football wise, we brought in a better offensive line to protect our potential Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
If they do what they were brought in to do as a unit, I mean, I'm thinking about they could be endorsed by a credit union because it keeps your money safe.
Yeah.
They could be endorsed by an alarm company because it keeps your house safe. Like,
There's
they're in the
some
protection
campaigns-
business.
Some campaigns going to go
Yeah.
crazy, right? So
Yeah.
just understanding like where, and as an operations guy, like you have to think about what happened last year to build for this year.
Yeah.
So